What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Hey man, today I want to first of all I want to welcome y'all back to the Papa Black Podcast. And today it's gonna be a couple of different onto my completely different topics, and then I'll go back and edit the whole thing and break it up into clips. But first, we're gonna start off with congratulations to the University of Georgia. Y'all know I'm diehard Atlanta, everything. Falcons, Braves, Hawks, Georgia. Used to be Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech ain't been that good in a while. So congratulations to the University of Georgia. They won real big yesterday, 65-7, the largest um, gap between games between the winner and loser. Stetson Bennett had 6 touchdowns. I think he ran 2, threw for 4. And then Georgia's the first to repeat since they've been doing the playoffs. So congratulations to Georgia. And I guess those were some Georgia fans. Well, they weren't Georgia fans that jumped off the line right quick. But hey, man, it's our day today. We represent the day. And then also Kirby Smart. He's I say he 1A, 1B with Vince Dooley as the best coaches that Georgia's had, because Vince Dooley put Georgia on the map, and also won a championship, I think in 1980, if I'm not mistaken. And right now he leads Georgia in wins. But Kirby Smart, man, and hey, I give out some props to Nick Saban for Kirby Smart coming up from up under his wing. But hey, man, he's also the youngest coach to repeat as a national champion at 47. So shouts out to the University of Georgia again. I mean, and y'all know for me, Alabama is just like New Orleans. I don't care nothing about them. You know what I mean? I ain't no hate. It just that's y'all our biggest rivalry. Y'all at Auburn. You know what I mean? So allow us to gloat. Y'all, I think they say y'all got 18 championships to our 3. You know what I mean? So let us gloat a little bit. It ain't no disrespect. Damn, still don't care about Roll Tide, but for me it's Hold Tide. Y'all slow down a little bit. Y'all be showing out when y'all win a game. So don't be hating. You know what I mean? Because we don't want we the first one to repeat as the national champions since they've been playing the playoffs. But the next thing I want to talk about is first of all these young kids. I seen on the news where a 6-year-old child shot his teacher the other day. Like I don't know what's going on with the world that these kids are having so much animosity and being so mad. How can you be that mad at 6 years old to kill your teacher? And they say it was deliberate. Like they walked up right up to the teacher and just shot him. Like they didn't bother nobody else. Like how at 6 you are that angry at anybody to want to kill your teacher, a 6-year-old. That's first grade. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I don't know I don't know what's going on in the world right now, but man, y'all got to get a grip on these kids, man. You know what I mean? I know a lot of it is society, but you have to take control of your child's life. You know what I mean? Like, stop letting them play them video games all day, man. That's nothing but killing all the time. I mean, they and then y'all let them play it sun up to sundown. Or as soon as they get out of school and do their homework, they jump on that game. They not getting any exercise. You know what I mean, and shit like that. But hey, man, it seemed like by now people will be waking up and be like, you know what? I'm tired of all this losing all these young people, man. You know what I mean? I remember when, and I'm not just talking about a life. I'm talking about losing your child, like a 6 year old. Well, first he's gonna have to go to juvenile, but then he's probably he might live the rest of his life in jail. Like that's crazy to me, man. A 6 year old. And then the mama. Somebody wants the mama gun. Like if y'all are keeping guns around your kids, if you're not gonna teach them how to be responsible around a gun, you got to keep your guns out of their way. You shouldn't even let them see it. You know what I mean? Because kids are inquisitive, so they are going to want to pick it up and play with it. You know what I mean? Especially if you got them playing games that all it do is kill. You know what I mean? Grand Theft Auto and all this, like Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Not and then not if you're gonna let them play it, you got to teach them the difference between real life and a game, because those games seem so real. But ain't no way in the hell a 6 year old got any business killing their teacher. Should I be scared to be a teacher now? Because I seen one video the other day where it was a male teacher, and you can tell he was kind of older, but it was a male teacher, and it was like 3 or 4 boys in his class just cussing him out. Man, fuck you, I ain't doing shit, fuck you, fuck you. Hey, come on, man, parents. I thought during the pandemic that y'all would see that the teacher ain't always lying on your child, man. A lot of kids are very disrespectful. You know what I mean? And it starts at home, and it don't start when they become teenagers and all that, man. It starts when they come out the womb. You know what I mean? Like you got to instill discipline in your child from day one. You know what I mean? Like that's the way my mama raised me. You know what I mean? My mama didn't play the radio. You know what I mean? But it was all, and she used to tell me, hey, boy, I chastise you because I care. You know what I mean? So I take that to heart. I took it to heart then. I take it to heart now. You know what I mean? That's the way I raise my kids. You know what I mean? And my kids think I'm mean, just like a lot of people think I'm mean. I mean, thought my mama was mean. My kids think I'm mean. A lot of people think I'm mean. And it's not that. It's that if I care anything about you, I'm gonna chastise you. I'm gonna always tell you the truth. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like to deal with the truth, but I'm gonna always tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. You know what I mean? I don't have people that call themselves getting mad and stop talking to me because I told them the truth. But hey, man, I can't feel bad about being honest with you. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to deal with it, okay, cool. But hey, man, we got to get a grip, man. And I don't get emotional about a whole lot of shit, man. But this shit here is crazy, man. Like yesterday, I got a phone call. Just lost another classmate. You know what I mean? Like all this death around us, man. This is crazy, man. And the second part of the video, I want to talk about losing a loved one. You know what I mean? Like I said, I want to do a series on losing a spouse and also losing a child. You know what I mean? Cause see, when we was coming up, man, the biggest thing was losing your parents. You know what I mean? And we knew that was a part of life, but that's what we expected. When our parents get old, they gonna pass away. You know what I mean? But nobody's ever prepared to lose a child. You know what I mean? And I've been blessed enough not to lose a child, because honestly, I don't know what I would do if I lost a child. You know what I mean? Hopefully, I won't have to find out. But I do know several people, several of my friends, you know what I mean, my sister and my brother, you know what I mean, that have lost a child. And it be because of different things. Like one close friend of mine, she lost a child due to health reasons. I got one of my homeboys lost a child due to a car accident. I lost both of my nephews to gun violence. You know what I mean? And I just can't imagine losing a child. And it's already hard when you lose a loved one. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching how, and I really sympathize with the people that confide in me. You know what I mean? Because like y'all heard me say a million times, man, I'm a lot of people confidant. A lot of people confide a whole lot of stuff in me because they know our conversation is between me and them. You know what I mean? Sometimes when people come and they need to talk, that's what they need to do. They need to vent. They don't always want your opinion. You know what I mean? They just want to talk. So we as people have to learn how to be a listening ear instead of always being judgmental and voicing our opinion. You know what I mean? And then like one friend of mine told me she don't like talking to people because she get tired of hearing how you doing or you okay. She said, hell no, I'm not okay. How can I be okay? And then people will say some shit like, I really don't know what to say. Well, guess what? Don't say shit. If you already know you don't know what to say, don't say shit. You know what I mean? Like when my daughters lost their mother, it's been 17 years, man. They were 15 years old. When they lost their mother, that was the first time I could tell them that, hey, baby, I don't know how to tell you how to feel because I still got my mother. And it was at 44 when I lost my mother that I understood that your parents are really the only people that have that unconditional love for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's other people that love you, but your parents, it's a different type love. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not talking about my family, but I'm gonna be real honest with y'all right now. Like, I watch how let me just give y'all little details of the story of my story. Like 2012, I lost my first nephew, little Fred. Okay, 2014, my mother passed away. She passed away in October of 2014. February of 2015, her mother passed away from being brokenhearted. You know what I mean? She had lost several kids, so it took an effect on her. And she lost my granddad. You know what I mean? So it has a huge effect on people. October 2015, my brother had a stroke from being pissed off because DeKalb County had to let the guy that killed his son. They had to let him go. Nobody would testify. You know what I mean? So I watched how it ate my brother up. You know what I mean? My brother got so mad when they had to let him go. He already was dealing with high blood pressure, but he actually got so pissed off, blood pressure shot so high, he had a stroke, fell, hit his head. You know what I mean? And he had a lot of internal bleeding, you know what I mean, in his head, but he bounced back. They say people that have major strokes, I think it's a 95% chance that they don't even survive. But he bounced back. You know what I mean? And it was all because of him losing his son. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because after he had his stroke, Hey man, it tore him down. Like he was the youngest person in the nursing home trying to rehabilitate. You know what I mean? So to go from being a strong black man to being the youngest one in the nursing home trying to rehabilitate, I watched how it broke him down. You know what I mean? And I was always trying to be there for him to let him see, hey, bro, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? But then in December 2016, we lost our father. You know what I mean? That took a toll on him. And then January 2019, I lost my second nephew, my last nephew. You know what I mean? And I'm watching how it's eating my sister up and his sisters. It eat them up every day. And today is the 4-year anniversary of us losing my last nephew. You know what I mean? Come to find out, and we didn't know at the time that 3 days after losing my second nephew, my brother went in the hospital. We didn't know he was in there for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And I know it was him being heartbroken because my both of my nephews were real close. And then for my second nephew to get killed the same way his son got killed, it tore him up. He actually passed away, I think, like 2.5 weeks after my second nephew. Being heartbroken. You know what I mean? So, hey man, it's a lot to deal with when you losing a child. You know what I mean? Like I can't even say I can only imagine what it feel like. I can't even imagine what it feel like. But I do know what I see. Like my sister has never been the same. She's still a great person, still a loving person. But hey man, it's hard to I can't even say recover. It's hard to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like one of my nieces, she got so messed up about it that she had a spell. I think I don't forget what they called it. Well, they thought she had a stroke. I think it might be a TIA or something or something. I don't forget what it is, but luckily she bounced back. You know what I mean? Because they were real close. Like my sister family is real close. You know what I mean? So I only can sit back and watch. It ain't nothing I can do. You know what I mean? And that's really the hurting part. You know what I mean? That it ain't shit I can do to make them feel better. You know what I mean? I can't bring my nephews back, and that's the only thing that will make them feel better, and I can't give it to them. You know what I mean? So that bothers me. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because when I was wide open in the comedy game and I was on the road all the time and I miss them really growing up. You know what I mean? For like 8 years, I was on the road all the time. For about 3 to 5 years, I only seen Atlanta one day a week because we was traveling so much. You know what I mean? So I didn't really get to watch them grow up because I feel like I was the person that they could have confided in and talked to because I knew what they were going through. You know what I mean? I ran the streets when I was young. I mean, they weren't doing the same thing I was doing, but I do feel like I understood it enough for them to come talk to me. But they always felt like I was mean too. But Pimp, I was being mean because I didn't want shit to happen to y'all. You know what I mean? So hey man, it's rough. You know what I mean? Like I got a couple of people that I'm waiting on for them to be able to talk to me about losing a child. You know what I mean? Because You know what I mean? I won't put pressure on them. Like I don't put no pressure on nobody, but I would never put pressure on them to come and share their story. But I do think that their story would help other people. You know what I mean? And then it'll hopefully kids will watch this and kids can understand what running around wilding out, what that does not only to you but to your folks, the people that care about you. You know what I mean? And we losing too many kids at a rapid pace. You know what I mean? And this shit is scary. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, man. You know what I mean? Like I remember at my nephew's funeral, man, I snapped at the funeral. You know what I mean? Because they was trying to rush my sister to sit down. You know what I mean? And I'm like, look here. Well, first, let me just go through the whole thing. When we first got there, I never ride in those funeral cars. So I'm always drive myself. I don't give a damn. But I didn't ride in it for my mama, my daddy. Yeah, I don't want to ride in that motherfucker for me. You know what I mean? So I didn't ride in the funeral car. I met them at the funeral home. And I went and checked on my sister. I'm like, hey, baby, you all right? She said, yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to come in there. I said, well, look here, man. If you don't want to come in, don't come in. You know what I mean? If you need me to sit out here with you, I'll sit out here with you. I don't, you know what I mean? And everybody always asks me how I deal with so much and all that. Hey, man, long as my sister is good and her girls are good and my daughter's good, I'm gonna be all right. You know what I mean? That's my focus. You know what I mean? So when I walked the kids into the funeral, got them seated, and then I sat down. It's a certain seat I like to sit in. It's like the third or fourth row, and it's on the end. You know what I mean? The aisle. You know what I mean? And when I sat down, I heard this little whimper, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's my sister." So I got up when I walked back there to the entrance, and I asked her, "Hey, baby, you all right?" She said, "Man, I don't know." I said, "Well, look." I told my cousin to get behind her. I said, "Babe, I'm gonna hold your hand." I walk backwards. I'm walking with her, and I told my cousin to get behind her just in case she fall backwards, and I can't. You know what I mean? My hands might slip or something. You know what I mean? Because your hands gonna get sweaty and shit. So we was walking, and the little first it was an older guy. He was greeting everybody, letting them in. He was like, "Come on, baby, you can do it. Just one more step. Just one more step." I said, "Hey, pimp, I got her." You know what I mean? So he was again, "Come on, baby, just one more step. Just one more step." I said, "Look, pimp, didn't I tell you I got her?" I said, "Look, I understand that y'all might be used to this. Y'all might be numb to this shit, but that was her son." You know what I mean? So I don't give a damn about the show. If it take her an hour and a half to get to where she want to be, that's the goddamn show. I know y'all have time limits, okay, but pimp, I don't care nothing about this. You know what I mean? My job is to make sure she good. So he left me alone. We going on up, and then next thing you know, an older lady came. She was like, "Just one more step, baby. Just one more step." I say, "Hey, baby, I got her. Just one more step. Just one more." I said, "God damn it! Didn't I tell you I got her? I don't care about this show. It's all about her and her daughters right now. So whatever they need, that's it. You know what I mean?" So I see earlier when but before it all started, I snapped. You know what I mean? Because they have a place for the family to sit. So I went and sat right there. You know what I mean? Because I already know what to expect. Cause see, my sister, she's always been close to everybody. My mama, daddy, all my aunts on my daddy's side, all my aunts, uncles on my mama's side, all my older cousins, all my younger cousins. So she's always been close to everybody. And we had just lost our parents. And hey man, you're not finna rush my sister. You know what I mean? So when we first got there, I'll go over there and sit where the family's supposed to be sitting. A little young dude came up, hey man, you're gonna have to get up. This is for the family. I said, Pimp, I understand that, but that's my nephew. I'm gonna sit right here. Oh no, you're gonna have to get up. I said, let me tell you something, young player. I don't have to do a goddamn thing. You ain't finna tell me what I got to do. You said this is for the family, right? That's my nephew. I'm gonna sit right here. And he said something to me one more time, and I just snapped. I said, hey, man, didn't I goddamn tell you that's my motherfucking nephew? You said this for the family, pimp. That's my family. I know what I need to do for my family. So this is where I'm gonna sit. My aunt came and got me. She said, hey, Tim, hey, I need you to come on walk me. I said, Aunt T, I'm good. But he ain't finna tell me shit about what I'm finna do. So we go out in the lobby, and she looked at me. She said, boy, I just seen your mama come all the way out of you. I said, hey, Auntie, I ain't never been ashamed of my mama. You know what I mean? I know that's where my sense of humor come from. I know that's where my attitude come from. I know all that. But I'm gonna make sure my sister's all right. You know what I mean? So once the funeral went on, during at the end, when the funeral home come up and talk, the lady said, you know what, I gotta apologize to this young man. Because he was really just looking out for his sister. And if I was in that situation, my brother would have did the same thing. And I told her, your apologies accepted, but y'all have to understand, y'all are numb to this shit because this is what y'all do every day. But people don't lose their child every day. You know what I mean? So I don't mind wearing the hat of the bad guy or the mean motherfucker. I don't care nothing about that, long as my people straight. You know what I mean? My daughters told my sister recently that I'm mean. I don't care nothing about that. You know what I mean? My job is to make sure y'all straight. And I ain't never seen a nice motherfucker be able to deal with all the shit I have to deal with. You know what I mean? Like my homeboy Double D asked me after I lost both of my parents, he was like, man, how the hell do you go through so much and then you be there for every goddamn body? I'm like, Pimp, honestly, I don't know. But my thing is to make sure my people are good. You know what I mean? So, hey man, start today. It ain't too late, man. Sit your kids down and talk to them about real life. Like I talk to a lot of people, man, and a lot of people are in a fictional ass world out here. You know what I mean? Like especially the young folks, I tell them, look, man, y'all were brought up in a fake ass world. The real world don't operate like that. And y'all have to understand that, man. Ladies, if you're a single mom, and I'm not saying anything bad about you, but everybody know I'm an honest motherfucker. If you're a single mom, and you have no man in your son's life to teach him how to be a man, and you cannot teach him how to be a man. You can teach him what you expect from a man, but you cannot teach him how to be a man. We don't. They got y'all thinking that men and women are the same. We're not. We go through a lot of shit that y'all don't go through. Y'all go through a lot of shit we don't deal with. You know what I mean? So find some man in your life, your uncle, your brother, your daddy, your granddaddy. Find somebody that can teach your son how to be a man and how to deal with this shit that we have to deal with. Not saying that y'all don't have to deal with anything, because I know black women be like, oh, we got the shit to deal with too. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying it's not the same. You know what I mean? So, hey man, grab your kids, hug on your kids, tell your kids you love them, and look here, man, talk to them about real life before you lose a child. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing but sympathize with my sister. My brother, his pain is over. He's gone. But I can't do nothing but sympathize with my sister. Like I call them, hey, her and her daughters, hey, y'all good today? I know today gonna be rough. Y'all good? They tell me they okay. I'm good. And then shit, what 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks from today, shit, they gonna go through mourning again for my brother. You know what I mean? So, and it's just real life, man. It's shit we got to deal with. Like you have no choice. Death is part of life. And I learned it as a young man. I'm talking about early, elementary school, that death is a part of life. You know what I mean? So how I deal with it, and you can never tell anybody how to grieve. But the way that I deal with shit is I make memories with everybody. Anybody that's ever been closely associated with me, whether it's family, friends, shit, hell, even some associates. I've always made memories with everybody so that they can have something to live off of if something happens to me. Because I'm not gonna live forever either. You know what I mean? So hey man, and that's how I deal with shit, man. I concentrate on the memories. You cannot concentrate on the loss because you cannot get them back. You know what I mean? Like when my daddy passed away, I told my father, I said, look here, man, the last conversation I had with him, I say, look here, pimp, we ain't gonna never want you to go nowhere. But we also don't have to deal with the pain and suffering that you have to deal with to be here for us. Man, you've always been a great provider. You've always been a great father. You've always been there in our life. So, pimp, your kids are grown. Most of your grandkids are grown. You told me you've been working since you were 10. And I'm talking about real work. I ain't talking about this shit that they do now. I'm talking about picking cotton and working in them fields down in Monroe, Georgia back in the day. You know what I mean? In the 60s, 50s, and 60s. You know what I mean? My mama used to pick cotton. You know what I mean? I'm talking about real work. You know what I mean? So, man, if you tired, hey, Pimp, go on and get that rest, man. And I knew it was our last conversation. And I told him, Pimp, I know you need to hear it, just like I need to say it. You've always been a great father. You've always been a great role model. You've always been there. And I've always heard how I've always heard some of my friends say that they don't have a dad. I said, Pip, you always been there. So I don't even know how that shit feel. You know what I mean? So as a man, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And then see, I went to the country for about 3 months where my daddy and mama, where my family is from, just to see how my daddy was before I met him. Cause see, I'm big on legacy and history, and especially my history. You know what I mean? So for me to hear that he was the one that everybody straightened up for when he came home from the Navy, hey man, that did wonders for me. You know what I mean? And I told him that. You know what I mean? And by the time I left out that room, both of us crying like two big ass babies. You know what I mean? Because I knew that was our last conversation. Because as soon as my brother went to see him that next day after getting out of the nursing home, and my brother, he found a way to get his ass out of that nursing home. But when he got out of that nursing home, he went to see it was a Friday when I went. My brother went that Saturday morning, and after my daddy seen my brother, he seen my sister too that Friday. But after he seen my brother that Saturday morning, he went on home. You know what I mean? So I know that's what he needed to be cool to, you know what I mean, to go on and make his transition. He had to see his kids. You know what I mean? So, hey man, quit taking people's life for granted. Quit taking your life for granted. You know what I mean? It's a reality. We're not gonna be here forever. So, like my dad used to tell me, hey man, make sure you get your affairs in order. You know what I mean? That's what I'm working on now. And no, it ain't shit wrong with me. I'm not going nowhere no time soon that I know of. I'm just taking my life a little bit more serious. You know what I mean? I'm not taking it for granted no more. Because to be honest with you, I never dreamed about being 50 years old. I always live for the day. So, hey man, stop taking your life for granted. Stop taking people for granted. When you got somebody good in your life that's good to you, that's a blessing, pimp. It's not something that you should take for granted because a lot of people don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, when it's over, man. Whether it's for them or for you. So stop taking people for granted. Stop taking your life for granted, man. Let people know how you feel. Give people their flowers. It's okay to tell somebody what they mean to you. And a lot of times they need to hear it. It's like when my niece, my brother' oldest daughter, seen some of the people talking about her father. It tore her up because she said, man, I wish they would have told him that. So it might have gave him a little more to fight for. So, hey man, the world is in a crazy state right now. Show the people that you care about them. At least call them. That's why I call and check up on all my folks. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not too big for that. And anybody know me know I'm probably one of the toughest motherfuckers you ever seen. But I'm not too big to let my folks know how I feel about it. And hopefully you ain't either. But today, I let y'all in my world for a minute, which I don't do. I'm a very private person when it comes to my personal affairs. Y'all see me clowning all the time. Y'all see me talking shit all the time. But when it comes to my personal life, hey man, I'm a very private person. So, like I say, man, stop taking life for granted. Stop taking your people for granted. Because if you don't, you're gonna pay for it in the end because you're gonna be sad. You know what I mean? Like when I watched my mama at my mama funeral, how a lot of people was having a fit. You know what I mean? I'm like, for what? She was in nurse home for 5 years. Y'all didn't go see her. Y'all said she was too mean. But at her funeral, y'all show out. Like, come on, man. And I'm not saying anything against my family. I'm just saying, hey, man, y'all said she was too mean when she was here, but then when she leave, y'all have a fit. Like, come on. Y'all could have told her how much y'all cared about her then. You know what I mean? So, hey man, stop taking life for granted. Stop taking people for granted. And hey man, try to love on your people while you got a chance. You know what I mean? Because the world is getting crazier by the day. Every day I wake up, I have to look at the first 5 minutes of news to see how much shit that went on since I laid down. You know what I mean? It's wrecks everywhere. People driving like they fucking crazy. This is crazy, man. I drive 75, 80 miles an hour, man. I always have. These people run past me like I ain't doing shit. I always have to look down at the speed officer like, damn, they got to be going 100. Next thing you know, shit, somebody done wrap themselves around a pole or ran into a truck or some shit. Like this morning on 75, 85, man, it was a 4-5 car accident. The damn one of the damn trucks had them spent all the way around, headed in the other direction. I'm like, damn, Pip, how fast was y'all going for somebody to hit you and you spent all the way around? But people be on their phones, people be so distracted driving. Like you don't value your life enough to stay off that damn phone and drive where you got to go. Or where your Bluetooth at? All this text and shit while you're driving. Come on, man. If I can't call you, I don't need to talk to you. Texting is for that quick shit. You know what I mean? But when I'm driving and shit, man, if you don't pick up the phone and call me, or I can't get them call you while I'm driving, hey, I'm gonna holler at you, Pimp, when I get where I'm going. You know what I mean? Because it ain't shit you finna tell me that's more important in my life. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make sure that my eyes stay on the road because people, you don't have to just drive for you. You got to drive for everybody else. You have to anticipate people getting over in front of you and all that, man. So long live Uncle Eli, my nephew. I call him Uncle Eli because he became an uncle at a very young age. You know what I mean? Long live little Fred. We lost a whole generation of men. You know what I mean? Hey man, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, hey man, take time and talk to your kids, man. Let them know what life is about. You know what I mean? And you need to let them know because if something happened to you, it ain't no guarantee that whoever get them or you leave them to or whatever, it's gonna teach them the right thing. So that's why I always made sure my daughters were self-sufficient. And I know this for a fact because I see it today. It ain't then I'm a hope that they gonna be self-sufficient if something happen to me. No, I know they self-sufficient because they do their thing. I'm very proud of them. You know what I mean? Even though one of them mad at me right now, but I don't. You know what I mean? We'll be all right. You know what I mean? But hey, man, get your kids in agreement with everything you do, and kids understand that your parents is we don't read a book on parenting. Your parents are only gonna do what they know how to do. But when you become an adult, wherever you feel like they was wrong at, you have a time to correct it. You know what I mean? So if you didn't like something that your parents did growing up, once you get grown, okay, that's no excuse no more. You know what I mean? So hey man. And then another topic I want to talk about, not right now, but another topic I want to do is people losing spouses, man. Like I got a friend right now that it's been 4 years since she lost her husband. It still has an effect on her now. You know what I mean? A lot of depression and all that shit, man, comes in. And when people confide in you, listen. If you can help them, help them. If you can talk them into going to talk to somebody to get some help, Talk to them. Don't. Hey, you need to go talk to somebody. No, you might need to go with them the first time, so they'll have the confidence to go. Because as black people, we don't believe in talking to nobody. You know what I mean? But then a lot of us don't have anybody we can talk to because when you talk to people, you got to worry about whatever you told them gonna get out. Because everybody, it's very few people that can keep a goddamn secret. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? They just gonna tell somebody that they don't think that you might know or that know you. But everybody has somebody that they talk to. But if somebody's confiding in you, don't be so quick to offer your opinion. You give your opinion if it's asked, but if they don't ask for your opinion, don't give it to them. You know what I mean? They might just need a listening ear. And see, for me, when my people lose somebody, I don't like. I'm not going to a lot of funerals, so like I said, man, I done been through enough within the last goddamn 10 years that if I don't go to another one, man, I'm good. So if I don't make your funeral, don't take it personal. You know what I mean? But hey, man, I can't deal with all that death around me. You know what I mean? And then before I go, again, talk to your kids. Be honest with your kids. And stop thinking your child don't know anything. They might not know all the details, but kids are not dumb. Kids are smarter than you think. So be honest with your child. If you're gonna have guns around your kids and not in a lockbox put up some goddamn well, you gotta teach your child about guns. And it's more than, hey, don't touch that. All that do is make them want to touch it. Hey, don't play with that boy. Hey, okay, well that make them want to play with it because it's forbidden. You know what I mean? You know how you was as a child. Somebody tell you not to do something, you want to do it worse than you did at first. But hey, man, make sure you get your affairs in order, get your kids aligned. You know what I mean? Because it ain't no guarantee you gonna be able to watch them until they get to be adults. So make sure you're teaching your kids about life. You know what I mean? And hey, man, love on your folks, man. Give them their flowers. Let them know how much they mean to you because they might need to hear that. But hey, man, I'm not trying to mess up y'all day today. It's just the fourth anniversary of my nephew, well, my second nephew getting killed. Well, or him passing away. So, hey, man, it's rough out here. Be careful out here in these streets. And then also, man, I'm through being down. Y'all, I know y'all heard my voice crack a couple of times. Don't y'all tell nobody. You know what I mean? I've been a killer for 52 years. You know what I mean? So don't tell nobody. But I let y'all inside my world for a minute. You know what I mean? Hopefully it'll help somebody. You know what I mean? If you need to talk to somebody, hit me up. You know what I mean? If you really need to talk to somebody, hit me up. I don't want you out here doing that crazy or feeling like don't nobody care or none of that. You know what I mean? So if you need me, hit me in my inbox. I'll send you my number if you don't have it. If you got my number, just call me. It's real simple. You know what I mean? So, hey, man. And before I go, Papa Black Ribs and Chicken will be back sooner than you think. I know I took last summer off cooking, but A lot of people been asking me about it, and it's still a passion of mine. I just been having a lot going on. So it will be back. As y'all can see, I keep talking about a healthier menu. I can't guarantee it's all the way healthy, but it is healthier. It's baked foods and air fried foods, but that grill still will be crunk up. You know what I mean? Because I have to have it. You know what I mean? Also, I also have to have the healthy stuff too. You know what I mean? I do what you call preventive maintenance. I don't wait till I get sick. I try to avoid getting sick. I don't want to be on no medication. You know what I mean? Because to me, medication ain't don't do shit but weaken your immune system. I watch my brother and my daddy take 30 pills a day, and they still left here before me. So I don't believe in all the medicine. You know what I mean? But hey man, shout out to the University of Georgia again for repeating as champions. And hey man, y'all be easy. Oh yeah, and if y'all want to walk with me any morning, just hit me. Let me know. I'm out there trying to. I mean, and I know it ain't no real major exercise, but you wouldn't believe what walking for you would do. The simplest thing in the world, because you have to walk each and every day. You know what I mean? But you couldn't believe how much it would help you. So if you don't want to, you can't be too lazy. You don't want to walk. Hey, you got to walk in the goddamn way. But if you want to walk with me, let me know. You know what I mean? I try to schedule my schedule around yours if you can't do it in the morning. But you have to be consistent. If you're not gonna be consistent, I'm not changing my schedule for a one time or two time thing. You know what I mean? You have to be consistent. But oh yeah, the podcast will be back. The Papa Black podcast. Like I said, I just been reshuffling some shit. I've been, you know what I mean. A lot of my co-hosts, they've started doing other things. So I will be back. If not this week, definitely next week. But today might be the day that I start back doing the podcast more consistent, and that's my thing. I have to make sure I stay consistent with it. But if you like the podcast or the reels or whatever, hey man, it's cool to send me some stars because that way I think you can get 99 stars for 99 cents. If I ain't worth a dollar, goddamn, you know what I mean. It's other prices on now, but I do think I should be worth at least a dollar. You know what I mean? And if you send it or have sent it, I appreciate it. If you don't send it, guess what? I still appreciate it. I don't I don't do anything for money. I never have. I do everything for the love. You know what I mean? And the love, the money will come. I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? I've been carefree my whole life and it's worked out for me. You know what I mean? So hey man, make sure y'all taking care of yourself. Make sure you're loving on your folks. You're not taking your life for granted. And man, get these kids, man. Sit down and talk to them. You know what I mean? Be honest with them. And y'all act like y'all haven't been kids before. So you know what they're going through. The world wasn't moving as fast as it is now. But we all have been teenagers before. We done all been kids before. You know what I mean? So if you know what I know, the best thing to do is to teach your child. Because if you don't, the world will swallow their ass up. I promise you. But hey, man, I'm not parenting. I'm not the perfect father. Never claim to be perfect. You know what I mean? So hey, man, just make sure you're loving on you folks, man. I'm tired of watching these kids leave away from here, man, too early. My first nephew was 16. My second nephew was 19. Y'all ain't even had a chance to enjoy life. You know what I mean? So And I'm trying to make sure that my two great nephews keep their nose clean and stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? I know they're gonna be little boys because shit they're English and they got some bird mixed up in them. So you know what I mean? I already know what the English and bird mix will do. You know what I mean? I know the attitude it'll bring. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to get my nieces to keep their kids in sports. You know what I mean? That means they're getting regular exercise. They learning how to deal with people, and that's another thing too. Young people don't know how to build relationships. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing we're gonna touch on. But make sure you keep your child active. I'm tired of seeing these little fat kids. They ain't nowhere in the hell a child should be fat. You know what I mean? Maybe one or two, but not all of them. You know what I mean? So make sure your child getting exercise, and also sports bring discipline. You know what I mean? If your coach ain't teaching your child's coach ain't teaching them discipline, they shouldn't even be playing for them. You know what I mean? It's more than winning and losing. You know what I mean? As a coach, you're supposed to teach them about life too. You know what I mean? I know because I'm a coach. I talk to my women. I talk to the guys that play for me like all the time about life. You know what I mean? So it's more than just exercise. It teaches them discipline, and hey, man, they'll learn how to deal with people. They'll know how to be a part of a team because the world is not designed for you to make it out here by yourself. So, hey, man, this your boy, man, Papa Black, man. Y'all be easy.